we're going to start at the very top here, and we have this, of course, students is a current, it will calculate your active students at your school. The next one is growth, and this is figuring from January 1st to currently, what has your growth been? So this is great because then you see how, how you're growing. And this is very important because you want to know, am I staying the same? Am I growing? If I am staying the same, what do I need to do in order to get to the next level? What do I need to improve on? Do I need to retain my students? Do I need to get more leads so I can register more students because I'm losing? How am I going to open my front door to new people and close my back door so my current students don't leave? So this is really an awesome tool. Then we have billing here, which will give us the amount of invoices scheduled to process within the next 30 days. Because after all, this is bottom line. This is our bread and butter. We need to know, what's going on financially in our school. The next one is overdue. This is excellent. I love this because it tells you right here clearly, I have 26 students who are overdue, and this is the amount that's outstanding for me. How much? So I can set goals for myself. Okay, I want to collect, a quarter of this on a regular basis, every month or whatever. So this is a great number to see what's out there in my school and what's owing to me. If we take a look down at our marketing performance, right here, it gives us a total amount of leads that I generated this month. And again, this is another great tool because we have set goals for ourselves on how many leads we want to generate every month. We need to generate at least, for example, 100 leads every single month. How are we going to accomplish that? We're going to go out into the community. We're going to do gym classes at local schools, get schools to come to our school. We're going to host birthday parties. We're going to do share the arts days like buddy days. How else are we going to generate leads to get to the goal of 100 leads generated every month? So this is very, really necessary tool that the dashboard is now giving us, because now we can look at it on a regular basis and take a look, okay, at the 15th of the month, we only have 40, and we need to get to 100 by the end of the month. So what do we have scheduled? This makes us truly project, like, for the future. Makes it, okay, oh, look at what happened. Because we weren't prepared in January for March, now look at what happened in the month of March. We lost the opportunities of, generating those leads. So that tells us we need to be looking 3 months ahead of time, 4 months ahead of time. We need to have events booked right now up to, for example, at least up to June, which is what we do. We have the events booked. We have at least 5 or 6 events every single month happening at our schools that are lead-generating events. So this truly helps us for that appointments. How many appointments are we booking every week? What's our turnaround from generating leads to booking appointments? It should be at 80%. We want to be able to bring in 80% of the people that we're going out there to find and turn that into a booking. Right? Now, once they come into school, they book for that introductory appointment, whichever way you introduce new potential students to your school. That we're calling that the intro one, which is right here. This is generating using your calendar and booking those potential new students into your calendar for your first introductory lesson, which is an introduction to your school, to your instructors, to your program, whichever way you run that. Now, and again, we want to have a goal for that number. How many do we need in order to accomplish our final goal of how many students we want every single month? So that's another thing there. And then how many are coming back for that second lesson? Let's say we're fantastic up here. Look at, this is an example. We generate 163 leads. Look at that. We only booked 25 appointments out of those. So that tells me that there's something wrong with our phone call. There's something wrong with our approach and trying to get people excited to come in. Or maybe we're targeting the wrong people. Maybe our events aren't generating the kinds of leads that we need to have them turn around into a student. For example, we just talked about it last month at our school. I saw great, we were booking a lot of gym classes and stuff, but you know what, we were booking the wrong age group gym classes. we had booked, for example, 4 grade 12 gym classes. Well, grade 12, people, they're starting to graduate, they're thinking about future, they're thinking about taking a year off, traveling, or they're thinking to go straight to university, they're going to be busy, maybe not the right group. But then we turn around, we book 1 grade 5 gym class, and we had like a great turnaround. We got 3 students out of 1 gym class. So this again helps us to see that. What are we doing? Are we going in the right direction, or are we just making ourselves busy to be busy? So we have to be smart at the choices that we make. Okay, so now we figured, okay, so that we failed there. So look at that, only 25 appointments out of all those leads, not good. And then introductory, how many out of the appointments people said that, and booked that they were going to come, only half of them showed up. That tells me there's something wrong with the way we booked them. Maybe we're too casual. We have to be saying, make sure that they know that somebody's actually waiting for them for the appointment. Stu will meet you 15 minutes early to get you ready. And, yeah, he's very excited to meet you and show you whatever your skill is. We need to improve that. When I see this, and we go back and we practice the info call. And we go through all the staff members who are picking up the phone, who are doing this and reviewing them. Because every once in a while, if you get a few, negative experiences, then you kind of get a little bit, you get a little bit self-conscious and maybe don't do a great job. So let's revamp our info call if that's low. Going back from intro 1 to intro 2, only 4 people came back. That's less than 50%. That's terrible. So then we do, what do we do here? We look at the intro 1. What is the program director teaching and talking about in that introductory 1 lesson? So we have to maybe make a few changes. Maybe they had a few objections or rejections, and then they changed it a little bit, but it didn't work for certain people. It works for certain. So we take a look basically at their script. We sit down and we watch their intro 1 and see what's going on with this guy or this girl. Why are they not getting people excited enough to come back to intro 2? And then we look at new students. How many do we need in every month in order to grow on a regular basis? If we're canceling 2 students and we're gaining 14, what's a realistic number if we want to get this up to 600? Right now we're at 588, for example. So those are things to consider, and that's what it's helping you with. Over here on this side, it gives you, it compares. It's excellent. Am I doing better or worse than last month in different venues? So this is a neat graph. Okay, we're going to move down and take a look at our financial performance. And this will give us, financial numbers. So for example, right here, we collected, in this example, we collected $781 in new memberships, and we haven't collected anything in renewal memberships. It gives you the amount, and then it gives you products, other sales. It can give you different classes that you might be selling. And manual sales means you just added something on the fly right then and there, a tuition that wasn't connected to anything else. So that's going to be considered manual sales, and any expenses if you're putting it. So it basically gives you a net income at the present time. So this will continuously change as you sell memberships, products, etc. And then it compares it to the last one. So this is great to be able to see that. The bottom part here, student retention, gives you the active number of students, how many are A, how many B, C, non-active. So this helps you figure out where you're at with your students and see how many students are non-active. This is very high for this number of students. So what's going on here? Instructors, we talk to them during instructor meetings, figure out what's going on. We take a look at the non-active list, and we try to figure out what belt level. Maybe the class is not working out. Maybe the instructor is not working out in that belt level. What's going on? Why is it non-active so high? So again, the dashboard, it gives you a little bit of every single thing that's important in your school that's going on. So it's a great, fantastic tool. Here, with this growth target here, this is where you can change it to whatever your expectation is. Let's say we only want it to grow by 5%. And then you will see it change right here on the target. Okay, so that's how you change. By default, it's always showing at a 25% growth. So that's basically how much do you want to see yourself growing, and then are you hitting it or not? So if we want to be at 25%, this 4 should have been at 17, this 12 should be at 21, and so forth, right? So that's basically what this growth target, this is where. Here you can change all of these to this quarter, this week. I use this a lot, do it at the weekly, do it at the beginning of the week during the staff meeting, and then we kind of have a target for next week. We have to push a little bit harder than we did last week, and et cetera. Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to go over with you guys and show you, because I think this is the most important tool that you're going to be looking at regularly in order to assist with reaching goals. Your staff needs to be looking at this, you know, and trying to everybody work for the same common goal. And it's one place that shows you all of that. Okay, so we're continuing to talk about retention. So now we're looking at this, and we're looking at how many, we're working so hard to gain new students. Now, how do we keep those students, and what tools can PerfectMind help us with in order for us to monitor these students? So let's look at, we're going to take a glance over at the reports right over here. We're under the office right now. We're going to go to the reports, and we're going to look at, oh yeah, we're taking a look at, I forgot what I was going to look at. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought for 1 second. We're looking at the report, and it's one that's called Expiring in 90 Days. This is a report that we're using for, this is basically our renewal list. So we're looking at it 3 months in advance. We're looking at it by instructor. So this is our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program. That's our instructor, Giacomo. And these are the next students who are coming up. So basically what we do is we print this list. We give it to every single instructor. Now they know what students they have to work on. That's what we have here, the ratings. So for example, Justin, he has to really work with Annika Satsvik and make sure that she's going to be ready to go for April. And that's what we do it 3 months in advance, you know, so that we have an opportunity to work with these students, talk to the parents, make sure that they're progressing, finding out why they're not active, what can we do to make the students keep coming to the classes, progressing, and et cetera. So this is awesome tool to know ahead of time. So here I have three students. They're all coming up for June. I know now who I really need to focus on. This guy's testing in May for his 2nd degree, so I know that he's 100% good to go. He's rated A. His state of mind is of an A student. Awesome. Lucas Gregory, same thing. He's continuously coming. He's going to be preparing for his 1st degree for November. He's always continuously coming. He's a A student, state of mind also. This is the guy that I'm worried about, is Cam. Tested for his black belt last year, off and on with attendance, has a lot going on in his life at this moment in time. But I'm on him all the time, regularly, so that hopefully come June, he's ready to go. And so I'm continuously working on Cam Brooks. So this is exactly what we do. We print this out. We give it to all our instructors, and they help us with making sure that these students are ready to go for renewal. I just wanted to make sure that it's interactive, and if you guys had any questions so far, because I want to make sure that I'm going in the right direction, and this is what you guys have expected from this webinar. So Shada's just going to read me out the question that one of you guys had. So yes, we're going to hear that now, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a question from Leroy Tillman, and it's if I'm a school owner who has about 50 students and is looking to grow, what position should I hire for?
Okay, thank you. Perfect. Okay, so that's a great question. So if you're usually the rule of thumb, kind of what we've always played around with, is we kind of figure every 100 students needs 1 staff member. So if you're at 50, you're pretty much, you probably know every single person, you know everything about them. Now you want to grow into your next level. You're probably going to need one person like a program director, and that's going to be somebody to help you with the influx of new people coming in, so they can help you do the intro lessons, start training them to be somebody who's already maybe in your school, somebody that has been with you for a while, that already is familiar with, has experience in martial arts, can assist you in classes so that you guys can share the task. So something like an instructor / program director would be an awesome idea at this level in your school, because not only can they help you with introductory lessons while you're teaching, because sometimes the peak time of doing an intro lesson is when your peak time of classes, so they run kind of simultaneously, so it's kind of hard to do two things at once. So whenever you think of that, it's what two things can I not do at the same time? That's when you need somebody to help out in that area. So whether it's helping you out in classes, assisting you in classes that are getting larger and maybe, they would flow better if you had somebody on the floor with you, and also for the introductory. And the same person is answering the phone while you're in classes so that it looks more professional. They're not leaving a, message on your answers. They're actually getting somebody live answering their questions and trying to book them in for that lesson. So I hope that answered the question. And if anybody else, please, you can post your questions. And periodically, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to ask Shada to read out any questions that you guys have had so far. Okay, just to make sure that everybody's okay with what's going on here. Okay, so we were talking about this expiring the next 90 days. So this is a must. On a regular basis, you need to be knowing ahead of time who's coming up for that renewal. This is how we're shutting the back door. Ahead of time, we kind of know what's going on. The C and non-active rating, knowing that on a regular basis is crucial. So that's why looking at the class report, I'm going to look at that right now. We're going to take a look at the class report. So for example, this is an awesome tool for whether you assign one instructor for a certain number of students or a class per instructor, whichever way you do it, having this report on hand when you're in class for every instructor is vital, I personally believe. It gives you a little bit of an idea of every single person that's in your class. Right now, morning class is running right now. Arthur is one of my students. He's non-active. He's been away. I want to make sure as an instructor that today I acknowledge that he's actually in class. Awesome to see you, Arthur. How's your dancing going? I know you injured your knee last time in salsa competition, and how's it going now? You're back? Okay, good. So we're going to be careful what we do today. I want you to focus only on boxing. We're not going to do any kicking. Whatever, whatever it might be that's going to make Arthur, my God, my instructors knows me, knows everything about me, they care about me, and etc. So that's something to have in front of you on a regular basis. It tells you here his ready date. When is he going to be scheduled to be ready? He was ready since then, but he missed. Obviously, he's non-active, so he didn't test, and he tested this time, so he's very behind. This tells you how many classes since his last promotion. So it gives you a basic idea of everything quickly that you need to know about this student. Now when we go not attended, these are the people who were scheduled to come to this class, but they didn't show up today. And then we go down, there's a need info section. If you need a void check from somebody, their address, their email address, any information that you need from a student that you want to gain from them and you keep forgetting, you can put it in this need info section and it'll show up in your class report. Hopefully everybody knows where that need info is. I'll go very quickly, not spend a lot of time on that, but just let's go to just a list here, one of our views, and we're going to go to the student, Kaylin, and we're going to go to sorry, our page layout changed, so I'm not 100%, don't remember where it was. I think it was sorry, I lost it. Oh my goodness, I can't remember where it is. Robert, right here. I'm sorry, right here. So under general information, you will be able to find the lead info. Okay, so yeah, so anyways, let's go back to the report. So that's just a tool that you can use to track and find and help you to organize anything that you need from the students. Then we go to Stripes Due. This is where it tells you what stripes are needed for each individual student. And right here, from the click of a button, you can promote. Also right here, let's say she did show up, she didn't scan her card or something happened, you can simply click on this button and it attends them for the class. So it's very, very cool. And then also here, when you click on this promote, we can actually promote her either for her rank right on the spot or for her stripe that she needed today. This view, this class report comes directly onto your iPad. It's a clear, nice, concise view. So if you're not into the printing class report things, you can actually from now on see it on an iPad. And it's actually a very nice and clear view. It works really well to do it that way. To attend people right on the spot. If you don't book people for a particular class, it's just they're there. You quickly can click on this attend, and also for the promote. And then here on the bottom, we have a need renewal. So this is another very, very good feature for our class report. Anybody in this class, it'll show up if they need a renewal, and it'll show their expiry date and how many sessions left if you do the countdown kind of membership, the punch card or whatever. And then if they have any kind of medical condition. This is really important. For Arthur, for example, it could have said knee injury. So then it just flags them for the instructor to make sure they're careful. And if they're doing squats or something that day, they can give them an alternate exercise instead of them saying, Arthur, why aren't you going lower on your squats? When obviously, he couldn't because he had a knee condition, but teaching so many people, you might forget. So, okay, so that was the class report because we were talking about how can we retain people, how can we keep our students happy and in our school by knowing where they are at every single moment of their training, where their state of mind is. Are they A, state of mind, B, C, non-active? We actually talked about that in our last instructor meeting. I asked students, okay, I want every single one of you to give me somebody who's rated A, but is actually a non-active student mentally. And you know what? Every single instructor had one. One student that kind of fits the profile. They come, always they're there, but not really. So these are people to also watch and focus. So we're not only considering this rating as instructors, we always want to see, okay, Frankie Katz just came back from university. She's back now for good. Now she's just working her way back up to C. I would consider her an A student because now she's back. When she's in class, she's there. Her attitude's up, but she's rated C because of her attendance. But it can be the other way around. It can be Ben Darrington. He isn't, but for example, he can be rated A. He comes every single class, but really, he's not really 100% there. So if he's coming up for a renewal in the next 30 days, I really got to work with this guy and make sure that he's on board, his parents are on board with him coming to the program, and making sure that he's motivated in order to keep coming and reaching his goals. My next thing that I was going to go over, because I think it's something that's very useful and we found it is amazing for us, is cases. Is when our students contact us, and they most likely will contact the front counter if you do have somebody at the reception, and they're going to say the simple word, I want to cancel. Okay, so now it's like, okay, so now we're going to go to student services. We're going to customer service. Under the more, we go to the customer service, and we go to the cases. So now right here, under views, we can have you can create different views. So we're going to have, let's look at all our open cases right now. So this is my view. I have Asher Eddy. We're going to look at it. This person called. It's a membership type of issue. They want to cancel. They just called us 3 days ago, cancel, and they want to cancel. So priority is high. So basically, we fill up this case, and then we have cancellation. Asher will sign up for the Little Champs program. Since the program did not take off, he's being canceled and refunded. Tracy has paid $75 plus tax. Okay, so there it tells you exactly what happened. We audited to see when we contacted them, and now it should be at a closed. It's being taken care of. They're probably just waiting to refund this money, and then they'll close the case. Why does this help us? This helps us manage all of our student issues right away as soon as possible. So what we like to do is, what I would like to do is kind of go over the procedure that we have in going over, following up on our cases. So, for example, we go to somebody calls in, they say something, they have some kind of issue. It can be anything. It can be they can't afford it, they want to cancel, mom doesn't want to pay anymore, whatever it can be. So there's a whole bunch of different reasons. Then we decide, as a school, you need to decide who's going to handle these. Is it my program director? Is it the head instructor? Or is it I'm the one-man show and it's just me? I'm going to handle everything. Okay, so now we try to put it in a different category. What type is this particular case? What is it pertaining to? Is it demotivation? It's instructor. Is it membership? It's financial. It's program director. Is it a new sign-up? It goes back to the program director because they just signed them up and they have an issue with the schedule. It can be anything. For example, this I know about this one, Linda Turner. She's one of our students. She apparently bought something like 6 months ago, and she never received it, and she's still wondering what happened to her product. So that would be a case to call her right away and take care of it and figure it out. Okay, so and it can be something as simple as that. But we create it as a case so that the communication is open within all our staff members. We can go and audit this and check up on it and see what's been going on, how long is it taking for these guys to take care of a case and close it. So it should be closed within, a week at max. If it's longer than that, then we talk about it. We meet every week about cases. We kind of see what's open, what are new, and what's being closed, and how we handled it, or how should we handle it, if that. So this is an awesome tool to handle any kind of issues because we know the better student service we get, the more we retain students. We want to treat them like gold, and we want to try to handle all of the issues as soon as possible in the best way that we can, the most friendliest way and the best service, because we know if they are our raving fans, they're going to continuously support us and continuously sponsor people to see us. And that's another thing, keeping students happy, keeping them motivated and progressing and testing on time and getting their stripes on time and reaching their goals. These are people who are going to talk about your school and about your instruction and about your program. They're going to be shouting it out to the world. These are the people who bring students to you. And these students that they're bringing, they're sold before they walk into your door. You're doing the introductory what's the word I'm looking for? Just as a practice, for example, because they're sold. They know how much you charge. You're not selling them anything. They've already picked their friend's brain or their family member's brain about everything. So they're pretty much sold when they come. So those are the best people to target. So not only are you keeping your students, keeping them happy, achieving their goals, you're also making them a raving fan. So taking care and monitoring and all these issues and with the cases is so important. I love this tool. I think it's like one of the best things that we have to use. And we definitely use it every single day. We're looking at these. Every week we're monitoring and making sure that they get taken care of, handled, etc. Okay, so we talked about the student rating. So anybody have any questions about the cases or anything in those lines?
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Not necessarily about the cases, but they were asked earlier.
Sure.
So Carlos Diaz asks, should we keep a binder of reports like these? I'm assuming the reports you mentioned earlier.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what we do. We keep them because that way we have a working list. For example, a renewal list, we have a working list and we keep updating it, because it'll keep changing on a regular basis. So we do it, for example, we do it now from March for the next 90 days. We print it out, we hand it out to our instructors, and we keep a copy. And then we go through the list and we're like, okay, who are the, then before we even meet with somebody for a renewal, we talk to the instructor. Okay, so Anya's coming up for a renewal. How's she doing in class? I know she's rated A. Is she good to go? Or she's like, yeah, she's awesome. She's ready to go. She's going to test next month. She actually is awesome also in basketball. Whatever they can give, so when you have the renewal meeting, you know a little bit about the student, even though you never teach them. You can say, I talked to your instructor. You're doing fantastic. They're really happy with your progress, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, very, very good tool to have.
Great, thank you. And the next question, Melissa Johnson asks, if you're using a different management system, do you know how easy it would be to transfer your client info into PerfectMind?
Yeah, you know what? They have a lot of different programs to upgrade from your management program to PM with a lot of them. I don't know exactly which program you're using currently, but I know that they have a lot and they can transfer data fairly easy from most of them. So yeah, definitely doable for sure.
Great.
It's part of what they do when you sign up with PerfectMind, definitely.
Awesome. Leroy Tillman asked another question. Do you guys have a management outline, like day-to-day work that helps the school function as a business?
Yeah, we definitely do. I don't have anything to show on the screen as far as point of sale on that, but if you want, you can give me your email address, Mr. Tomlin, and I can definitely send you something. Basically, what we do is we break down the different departments. For example, we break it down by program director, and which covers all our sales for renewals and introductories, and then we do a head instructor department, which kind of takes care of all our student services, all our instructors, our instructor meeting, managing them, and then we do the front reception and all about the pro shop sales and blah, blah, blah. So we kind of divide it into three main sections, and then we have kind of roles and duties and things like that for each role. So I can definitely send you something like that if you're interested. So you can leave me your email address if you like.
Perfect. Thank you. Next question is a follow-up to Carlos's question of how often should you print the reports and file them in the binder?
Okay, so I guess if we're talking about the renewal report, I would say every month, right? And as you go through, then you start clearing people off. Then you start with your fresh list. So every month for sure, looking at that list that are 3 months ahead of time. Every month and keeping, and then you can, once you get done with 1 month, you kind of renewed everybody, or some people didn't, whatever, you clear them off. Okay, and systemizing everything that you do is so important. For example, every Monday, so Monday we have our staff meeting. The beginning of the week, we kind of have to direct everybody going in the right direction. So Sunday night, I spend a couple hours, and I go to PM, I go through my reports, I look at what we did last week, as far as sales go, how many people we registered, how many people renewed, how many leads we generated. There's a whole bunch. There's a little, little list. I go to my dashboard. I get the information there, and then I go into cases. I get this list. I print it out. I have different criteria set and ready for the staff meeting. So then we go over the main focuses of the week in the staff meeting. What do we need to do in order to keep our growth? Or are we behind from last week, so we need to up this week? I look at the calendar, and I look to see what's already being booked for this week. So truly, we should be booked up for at least Wednesday. We should be booked up for the next week before the week comes, because now we're struggling to get our quota for the week. So by Sunday, the guy should have booked up himself for introductory appointments till at least Wednesday. He should be pretty booked up. Intro ones and introduced, booked into the scheduler for the week. And if not, that's why I look at the calendar and I kind of see. And I'm like, okay, we're kind of behind. You're going to go right now. You're going to try to book that scheduler and make sure we get our quota of 12 a week, for example, whatever the quota that you set up for yourself depending on your growth expectation, right? So yeah, so things like that. You have your weekly goals, your monthly goals of what we talked about through the dashboard, and then that's how you can kind of gear your staff meeting to work. So everybody's working on the same page towards the same goal.
Awesome.
Okay.
Another question
from
Carlton. Will you be going over the process for booking students into exams and promoting their rank after the exam?
Yes, we're going to do that right now.
Perfect.
That was the next
Awesome.
step. Yeah, because that's
I'll let you get back to it because that was the last question for now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, perfect. So now we're talking about all this keeping students happy and striping and rating and seeing on active, because the bottom line is we want them to grow. They need to grow in their martial arts. Ergo, testing, examinations, right? Very important to make sure that you're continuously upgrading students and testing them. Regardless of your style, you can wait 2 years before one belt to the next belt. That's okay, as long as between those 2 years, there's some kind of guide or some kind of goal, goal orientation for our students that they feel like they're improving from 1 month to the other, or from 1 year to the other year, right? So whichever way your system runs and your ranks and everything like that runs, it's important that the students are continuously growing, and that's how they'll be happy and stay with you. So we're going to go back to our contacts just for 1 sec. And okay, so sorry, we're going to go to reports right here. Okay, so we have rank promotion reports here. Promotion this month. We're going to look at this report. So these are all the students that are scheduled, that were ready to test this month in March. Now, ready and almost ready are what is the major difference between PerfectMIND and PerfectMIND 3, right, or Smart Client and PerfectMIND 3. So the ready date means they're ready to go according to your set parameters, whether you do it by attendance or by time or attendance and time, doesn't matter. This is going to, the ready date is when they're officially, according to your attendance achieved or time weighted per rank, they're going to be ready to go. So if they haven't met the criteria for either one, they're not going to show ready. Now, almost ready is when they're, depending on your set parameters, maybe it's 30 days before, you want to know that they're almost ready 30 days before or 2 weeks before, however you set it, so they're going to be in either status. So that's the major change there. This list will give you a list of everybody who's ready, and it gives you a little bit of information, rank, what they're upgrading to, their ready date, and their name. So it's a perfect list, perfect working list. Okay, from here, you go into the belt order. This is another list that can help you with ordering all your belts for your exam. Just makes it a little bit easy. It tells your rank, the size, how many you need. It's awesome. Okay, so now we're going to go to our, we're going to go to calendar. Let's color code. Okay, so now here, yesterday, we had exam. It was our testing night last night. So we had 3 different exams. We break them up in kids at 4, youth at 5, and adults at 6:30. So we had 3 different groups of testing. We've already added an event called exam, and we did a recurring. So if we wanted to add a new event, click on exam. You give it a name, you set it up, time, and etc. You fill out all the information in order to set up your exam. Okay? Now it's set up. When we click on it, it gives you, on the side here, it gives you an attendee list. We're going to look at it. this, when you click on it, it gives you a list of everybody. So here you can see everybody who attended the exam or was excused or was booked or whatever. So it gives you the whole list. So you can verify. You can verify this with your actual list. You're going to have a list when you're actually testing them with you, the one that you printed out. You're going to check, or whichever way you do it, who actually showed up for the test. Because some people are scheduled, but they got sick or whatever happened, they didn't show up. So this is a working list for you right there, so you can quickly see it. Now we know that this is correct, except this one student. We're going to go back here, but we don't need to worry about that actually. Well, let's just go. That person attended. Okay, so there we go. Everybody's accurate. 24 actually attended. 25 were booked, but she never showed up for her test. Okay, we're going to go up here to your name, your login name, and there's a button here, exam update. Okay, so here is where we're going to update that exam. We're going to find the exam. You're only going to have the most current ones. So this is, we're going to go to the youth exam, the one we were just in. We double check the list. Now here it says past exam. So let's say she was ticked, but I can go and unclick her. She didn't come, so she did not pass. So I still have an opportunity here to make the changes. So when you're setting up an exam in the calendar and you're booking students for each exam, then whether they attend or not by accident, they didn't scan their card that day or whatever, you still have the option here at the last step to make sure that you double check and verify that everybody that is on this list did pass. So I'm going to say yes. You know what? I'm confirming. They all showed up. They all passed their exam. We're going to hit the confirm button. Perfect. So now, Ben Dunlop was one of those guys. So we're going to go look and see what happened to Ben Dunlop after having. So I'm going to go to my active students. Where's active? Right here. Let's go Ben Dunlop. Okay, and let's look at where's his ranks? Oops, it was right there. Okay, so last promotion, he got promoted today. We promoted him from junior blue, junior high blue. He is now in not ready status because he's not ready for high blue, right? So he just tested and he got upgraded to blue belt. His new ready date will be December 23rd of this year. So everything got updated with, and then we have a record here of, we have a record of his update. So that's what will happen. Now, did anybody have any questions after going through that, please? Okay, perfect. So now, let's, I wanted to see, maybe I went kind of quick. I'm not sure if, let's go to the next, let's go to calendar. I want to show you how to book students into an exam. So let's go to next month, just in case. When's our next testing? Let's take a look.
Hi, Master Ingrid. I thought I would take this opportunity to. Oh, never mind.
Sorry?
Somebody had a question and retracted it. I'll let you continue.
Oh, okay, that's fine. No problem. Okay, what I'm trying to look for, sorry, let me quickly, I want to find okay, so we're going to look at booking people into an exam, okay, so that they're there for that exam date and time. So when you pull up that list, they'll show up for that exam. So that does need to get done. So we're just going to click in here. So see, nobody's booked into this exam yet. Oh, sorry, there is people already booked, but maybe see how many people are booked for that exam, and that's not, all those students are not going to test. So let's say Adrian Liu, I'm going to take her out. Alex Moore, I'm going to take her out, for example. So you can easily take out people that you don't want to be booked for that exam date, okay? Or you can add them. So I don't remember who I just took out. I don't know. I'll just add and add them. Okay, so I just added that person into this list. So it's easily to attend right away to add and take out. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that quickly. Okay, we're kind of getting to the end of the session, so I just want to take this opportunity again one more time to just see if you guys have any further questions at all with anything that we went through at this time.
One question from Carlton. Yes. Are students that are ready to test automatically booked for the exam?
No. They're just in ready status, and now you have to book them because it will not know what exam they're going into. So you have to specifically book them for a certain exam because as here, we have 3 different kinds. So if it has to know which one it's going into. If you only had one, you would still have to book them in for an exam. Now,
perfect.
Okay. Another one, let me just show you one quick thing that you could do is we have a view that we created that's called Ready List. So we click on our Ready List here. So these are all the people, and we verify, double check, make sure that it's correct and everything, and then you can select all of them or select one by one the people who you're actually going to, and then go hit the schedule button and schedule them all at the same time to the exam that you want them to go. So that's another way to do it. So you can create different views in order to help you come up with your specific list and then group book people into an exam all at once instead of doing it one by one. And that will make it really easy. Okay, so I don't know if there's any other questions for
one more. Yeah. Who is taking care of updating the system, like creating student records or bookings?
So basically, at my school, it's my head instructor. She takes care of looking at this list on a regular basis. What we do, we have a system for exams. So for example, we have like 13 instructors. A lot of part-timers. We have 2, 3, we have 4 full-timers, and the rest are all part-timers, people who have their own life, their own job, and they come and they teach 2 or 3 classes a week. So it's kind of hard to manage that many instructors, but what we do is the head instructor, by the first week of every month, she gives out this ready list to all instructors. She prints it out, gives it out to the instructors. Then they have to go through the list and make sure that all their students that are ready are actually going to test that month. If they're not, they scratch them off the list. They change their ready date to the next month so that they're out of that list. And then the head instructor, once she has this list organized, she groups them, books them into the exam. She prints out that list from that report that we showed, and she posts it up on the school. This all has to get done at our school by the 10th of the month. So then students know, instructors know, we can order the belts ahead of time. So we know exactly how many students are testing by that date, and we post it up. So that's kind of how we do it. And it works great. Okay, so any more questions, guys? Last one maybe before we finish off for the day. No? Nothing yet? Just going to be waiting for our response from Shada. I think she's just busy.
Okay,
right now.
one question just came in.
Okay.
How would you go about choosing a head instructor?
Okay, very good question. I think choosing a head instructor is going to be the person who, besides yourself, is the most has the most experience in not only like martial arts, but also managing like other instructors. Somebody that everybody feels like they can talk to, that they feel like they'll listen to. They kind of is the leader, the leader of the group, and sometimes at the beginning it's hard, as we've experienced it, because they're all working in the same level, and all of a sudden they're kind of above everybody else. They're kind of organizing things and, sending out those instructor memos or running an instructor meeting, for you or with you at the same time. So at the beginning it's challenging. So what we did is once I brought in, my sister, she's actually our head instructor at our school. She's been training, for like 23 years. She's been with us from the very beginning, like forever. And it was really hard for her because she was a student with everybody else and training with everybody else. And all of a sudden now she's a little bit, so we did it together. We did instructor meetings together, and then we kind of say, okay, so she's taking care of this and she's going to go over this part of the instructor meeting with you guys. And okay, since Anita, can you please do this this week for them? And it's like, okay, Master could ask me to talk to you guys about this, or we sent out an instructor memo with both our names on it. So we slowly incorporated that, hey, you know what, she's becoming responsible for you guys. She's going to be training you guys on this. She's going to be talking to you guys about these issues. We slowly, little by little, give one duty and then another, and we add more and more responsibility until slowly people, and all the other instructors can, work well with the person that you picked. So I hope that helped. And,
I think we are done answering all the questions. If you have anything you'd like to say to wrap up the presentation,
I will.
I'll give you the floor.
Thank you very much, Shada. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for joining us at Champions Way for this webinar. I'm really happy I could, I hope I could have helped you guys out in some way. If you have any further questions or need any other help, you can always email me if you like. My email address is sensei, which is SENSEI, at championswayoflife.com. So it's champions with an S, wayoflife.com, if you have any other additional questions. And I'm sure I'll be doing a few other webinars in the next little while. And I will,
I also want to thank you for taking the time to present on all of the stuff. Very useful information for sure.